Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my first I Spy Invitational match. I'm pretty stoked about this. I see a lot of people in chat. Joining with me is in the commentary booth is Iwin.
Hey
Hello.
guys.
And we also have Amazon here on the left. Say hi.
Hello.
And Maljack is also here with us.
Hello.
And yeah, they've been explained the rules. This should be a pretty exciting match. Do I have the PB correct, Amazon? You just got it 1334.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. So
Very nice.
yeah. So if you guys are ready to go, I'll give you a little countdown to start the scouting section. You'll go straight into the run. So if you're ready, we'll start in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, hopping into the first seed. And if you want, since I went over the seeds a little bit, I can go over what I found while I was looking over the seeds and what kind of to expect from these two runners if you want me to do that.
Sure. Yeah. Go right into it.
So for those of you guys who don't know, I also run scout and route tournaments as well. So I had the opportunity to look at the seeds a little bit ahead of time with that kind of knowledge and what I would expect. Now, the difference between what I do and what these guys will be able to do is that T-Wags and Antoine do not allow chunk base. So there's an in-game command that you can do to locate things. One of those things being buried treasures. As you guys can see on the screen already, they found the buried treasure at the start, but there is another buried treasure on this map somewhere that I don't think either of them will find without chunk base, because when you do the locate command, it shows the closest one, and this one's a little bit further away. However, it's on the route to get into the nether. So we should see like really similar plays. That we have the runners looking at the ravine. I actually don't think that this is the most optimal entry point, but where did Maljack just go? And he went so fast. He didn't even do the overworld.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of different strategies for the routing, which I'm really stoked at. And I think I really like this play of like just taking a real quick 30-second to 1-minute overview of the overworld, getting straight into the nether, because the nether tells you a lot about the route you take in the overworld. So it's hard for me to do when I'm going through these. I take like 3-4 minutes, but I really like this play, just getting right into it.
Did you happen to see where Maljack went into the nether? Because I didn't, and his spawn was rather close between the bastion and the fortress. And I tested a lot of different spawns when I was running through the seed, and I'm not exactly sure where he got in so fast. I want to say probably close to the ravine as well as Amazon did, but I didn't see the entry point.
Yeah, I think it was just past the buried treasure in a kind of a shallow lava pool, fairly high up. So it looked like a pretty good entry.
Got you. And it looked like both runners didn't really take a look at the village, and I assume that's because with buried treasures, especially in the scouting route where you don't need the treasure map to find it, they're really, really overpowered in the sense that they have all the iron you usually need. Most of them have extra gold, which we see there, a diamond, and food. So once you get that, realistically, the only visit to the village might be for beds. But even then, if you know the trades ahead of time, which you guys' data pack allows, they'll probably go in, make the trades, and calculate if they're going to get enough string, and then decide whether or not they're going to need to go to the village or not. And I think that'll be throughout all of the matches that we see throughout your whole tournament is seeing the bartering. And as I say that, Amazon's throwing out the gold because he's going to go back and try to figure out how much he gets from the gold he goes in with. So
yeah, doing that really, really fast, smart. As he's doing the rest of his routing, he's just going to have those piglins trade. There's a couple of really interesting nuances, because we debated whether we should put the exact order of bartering in the scouting seed to allow players to do this or not. In the end, we thought it was a good idea, and there's a couple of weird things because you can't just immediately know. You have to actually physically put the gold down and wait for piglins trade, and there's a potential for baby piglins to spawn depending on what biome you have, and they'll pick up your gold and mess up those trades, so you have to do it in an interesting way. So that's funny that he's doing it right away. That's really smart.
Yeah, that is interesting. And I think doing it right away is the right call because, like I said, you could potentially skip the village. On top of that, you could even potentially, depending on how much gold you get, you could even potentially skip the bastion routing if you know you're going to get it. And then you just boat a couple piglins, and then you just go to the fortress, get your blaze rods, and then go back for those trades knowing that you're going to get them. So it does bring into an aspect that you can't obviously do in RSG, where you can plan to just just leave that there and then know for a fact that you're good to go. So that's pretty cool as well. As far as the bastions go, from what I have in my notes, there's housing. The housing seems like the optimal choice in this one. Treasure's available, but most of the spawns into the Nether don't lead to treasure optimally, and pretty much all of the overworld entry points lead to housing. Also, it's worth noting that both of the runners, I spoke to them before the match, prefer housing. Only less than stables, a good stables that is. So I see both of them probably going housing, but it would be interesting to see them try to go treasure here as well.
Yeah, I do love me some housing. It's such a consistent step too. And so the other thing, hi Bennett, what's up? So the other thing is I sent you the seeds ahead of time to kind of look through and take notes. And so I'm not exactly sure I have them in the same order as what I sent you. I thought I did, but I have in my notes, this is a non-village seed and the next one is a village seed. However, I think there's a far enough village in both of them that I don't even know if they'll go to the village in either seed.
I am. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So interesting. I am talking about the wrong seed because yeah.
They're very similar seeds though. They really are.
Yeah. So I had first seed as the village run one, right?
Okay. I think
sorry, chat. So yeah, these got switched around a little bit, but to my merit, still in the seed that they're on right now, this is actually even more consistent with what I was saying. Is at the spawn there are actually three buried treasure that are right next to each other. The locate command gives you enough iron. I think the first one I have gives you 10 iron. However, there's a chest that's like maybe 8 or 9 blocks away from the first chest, the locate command chest, that has 4 diamonds in it, 11 iron, and 12 gold. And it's literally only a 3-second walk away from the other one. But like I was saying, without chunk pace, it's like almost impossible that a player will move past the first one that the locate command finds to find a different one. The other option that they could have maybe is that they spectate through the ground and happen to glance at it. But obviously neither of those runners did that. And then the one other thing that I want to mention is that right under spawn, only 2 blocks under the surface is a dungeon with a chest in it, and that dungeon has a bucket and an iron in it. Both these runners, I think, happen to miss that, and also the lava pool that looks like Maljack's going to is right next to that dungeon. So theoretically, if he went and spectate right now, he could glance at that, catch it, and then be like, oh, well, there's a bucket iron there. I can get that on the way down. But and you wouldn't save much because the iron in the buried treasure has enough iron. But you know, I think we're out of time, right? Or is it gonna tell them, right?
Yeah, it's gonna tell them. It's a little small. Oh, cool. It's on the bottom of their screens. I think it's about 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, okay. Small, very cool. But, I was looking at Ham's timer, but
yeah, Duncan made a nice little data pack for us that pretty much just does that. Just has a timer and then a text at the end of 10 minutes. So it's nice. And then it kicks you. You can't re-enter the world. You can't do anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, also chat, there is a village on this map. It's about maybe like a 25-second walk from spawn. It does have a blacksmith with an iron pick in it, but obviously, again, we saw that neither of the runners went with that. But the fact that they're back in the overworld tells me that they have planned out the nether already. They already know where they're going with that, and they're trying to find secondary choices for the overworld. We could see that, but it's just so doubtful because, like I said, the buried treasures are very, 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 very strong in these.
Yeah.
As you don't need you don't need the map to find them. So.
Yeah, they're really busted. I mean, you're always looking for 7 iron and, maybe 5 food. If you're going for a 10-15 minute pace run, that's really all you need. You just got to enter nether fast. And so buried treasure just almost always takes care of that really well. The gold is lovely too. Sometimes you get diamonds. The almost always the first thing I do when I get a spawn that has a little bit of ocean is just locate treasure and go there and try to route off that.
Yep. And interestingly enough, the 3 chests that are at the very beginning of the spawn, I put the totals down just because I was curious if anybody would like double check for more by going in spectate mode, which we didn't see that. But the total chests between all 3 of the chests that are right next to spawn are 29 iron, 20 gold, 4 diamonds, 3 TNT, and 16 fish. So if you hit all 3 of those under 30 seconds, you could have literally everything you need to just jump in and go.
Yeah, and the TNT, dude, I am a huge fan of TNT. If I get 2 TNT and a buried treasure, I'm taking that any day over anything else. You get 1 log, and then use a button to accelerate your. You can use it on dirt and trees, and then 1 on gravel. And so you instantly get your flint requirement, your blocks requirement, and your woods requirement in 20 seconds out of the way at the start of the run. I love TNT.
Oh yeah. Do you guys have anything in the data pack regarding Flint chance rates or no?
No, Flint's still vanilla
Okay.
RNG. Yeah.
Okay, so with vanilla Flint, there is also one other thing that, again, unfortunately we didn't see either of the runners find, but there is a buried ruined portal that's about 100 blocks away from spawn. It's completable. It has the obsidian you need to complete it. It also has a flint and steel and a fire charge in it. So theoretically, the 35 seconds that it takes you to dig down to it, and then I don't know, maybe like, you know, how you can't add the time for building the portal because you'd need to build a portal regardless, but it would be much faster to complete a portal with the 2 obsidian, grab the fire charge and do all that. You could save time theoretically if you found that. And this is what I stress when I talk to a lot of the runners about how quickly they beeline for one thing, especially in overworlds. Whereas, you know, yourself and myself, we've gone through seeds and we've planned out different routes that we believe are faster. And if they just took that extra time they had at the end, maybe to just look back at the overworld, we might see that. But we're running out of time, so I'm gonna give it back to you.
Yeah, I think I saw 3i there. I'm not sure if they're going to the same stronghold, but I think they only need 5 rods in this one. And yeah, as the time winds down, they will immediately go into the running phase. And Iwin, the last thing I want to ask you is, have both these guys played in the Iwin tourneys?
Yes,
Your
yeah,
tourneys?
both of them have. Yeah, actually, Amazon's been in all of them except for the first one.
Okay, let me start the timer
So
here.
so 4 total out of 5 for him.
Okay.
Maljack, I think, has put in 1
So
or possibly 2. Oh yeah, he had to bail in the last one.
what would you predict seeing the seed and knowing these runners?
So I think in both runners, I actually talked to them prior to doing this. They both kind of agreed on what my prediction would be, is that Amazon not only has the experience, but obviously the better PB. Now, PBs can be very, very deceiving, especially considering the fact that you need a specific seed to get, you know, a specific time or whatever. But Maljack does feel like he is the underdog in this matchup, and I think that it's pretty clear that the Ham has at least the experience over top of him in the scouting and routing and stuff like that, and as well as just like when I speak to Amazon, he's very, very educated on the game. He knows a lot of information. He follows your videos pretty closely, so he takes those that information, and I think he's able to process that really, really quickly, which helps him make decisions when it comes to scouting. So, in my opinion, what we'll probably see, and this is not to knock Maljack,
Yeah.
but I think we might see a 2-0 here, unless Ham makes mistakes, which obviously mistakes are very, very detrimental. You know, I think anything past 10 minutes, a death or a reset on past 10 minutes, potentially is like you can't recover from it, especially with a 20-minute limitation.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. I agree with that. I think Amazon's a very well-rounded player. Been in his streams a few times. I was there yesterday watching him run. He just casually did a monument run and traveled directly into the stronghold first. That was very cool. We got a $5 dono for the ESI prize pool from Cosmic Cantaloupe. This is a great time to remind you guys that if you want to see better, faster, cleaner, more tournaments in the future, especially with iWin stuff, consider donating to the ESI prize pool. Don't donate to me or the streamers, donate to the prize pool so that they play better and it's more entertaining. Yes, thank you, Winona. Thank you. The more money that's in the prize pool, the more tournaments we'll have, and the more the runners will care about it. And yeah,
Sure.
what was I going to say? One last thing about Amazon, I guess.
Oh,
yeah.
I have a point to make too, real quick. Is this the actual run, first of all? Are we watching them actually
Yes,
running it?
they just went right into it, yeah.
I don't know where the time is at right now. It looks like
Yeah.
about 2, maybe 2:30 because their timers are not active. But
Mhm.
but really important to note that I talked to them about fast entry versus prepared entry. But both of them, you know, kind of said that they want something in the middle. But we saw Amazon going in very quickly, and I think that with the way that the dragon is in your guys' thing, with the perch being not guaranteed like it is in mine, I don't think that the nether entry, I think the time difference between entering the nether is negligent, but I think like the time out of the bastion is huge on this one. And when I spoke to Amazon, his plan is to do a lot more pearl hanging for blinds. Now, you said you saw a 3i. The 3i is actually a blind from the bastion, not the fortress. The fortress blind is actually a blind to a 0i. And so we see Ham going Bastion first and actually taking a death, and that actually is really, really not good. He's not going to reset the world. He'll get back. His stuff will be there. A time loss of maybe like a minute and a half. But what I was going to say was we see him going Bastion first because I think he's planning on Pearl Hanging, hitting the Fortress, then going back to the Bastion. And then we see Maljack going Fortress first because he's planning on blinding at a similar spot, right? So two different strategies to get back to the same blind is what I think we're seeing right now. And Amazon taking a death is really, really unfortunate.
Yeah, I think Iwan is watching the live streams and it's for some reason ahead by like 5 seconds on Amazon's stream, but that's all right. I mean, we saw him take 2 heavy hits. The world files are set to normal by default. I saw Amazon take 2 sword hits from Piglins entering that Bastion and have like 1 heart. So I'm pretty sure he's still on normal. And yeah, it's a rough death. Kind of.
I think if you want, can you screen share into Discord? Would that be easier? So I'm just accurately saying over what you're saying. I think well, that's what I did when I commented because I see what you're seeing. So then I'm not giving anything away. I don't want to ruin stuff ahead of time. Sorry, Chad. I didn't mean to give away that Amazon was taking a death 5 seconds ahead of time. My bad. Look, I'm just that good, bro. That's what's up. That's actually next level caster curse right there. I'm taking it to the next level, chat. Spoilers, I know. Next level. God. Anyhow. Anyway.
I had to set this up. Hang on.
That's actually so bad. Like, I feel bad now for giving that away, but it's all good. As he's setting that up, I will talk a little bit about what Maljack is doing. I'll try not to do too much information that will give anything away, but obviously collecting rods. And I don't know, are you guys' blaze rods static or?
They are seed dependent.
Okay, so seed dependent, chat. That means that both runners will get the exact same drops on the exact same amount of kills. If they kill 10, they'll both get 5. If they kill 20, they'll both get 7 or whatever kind of thing. So that means that a lot of the blaze rods are really dependent on 2 things. One, spawn rates, obviously. And the other thing is whether or not the strategy will be to just run directly to the spawner or to 5 RD through and get as many as you can on the way to the spawner, and then maybe possibly pick those up on the way. So yeah, we'll see how the spawn rates work as far as with similar drop rates or identical drop rates. But Maljack picking up, I think he's at 4 now.
Amazon
he is going to a 3-eye, so
dying again, suffocating in the wall. Yeah, I have the virtual thing set up. The problem is I don't know if the runners have a mini preview on the side of their screen, and they can like sneak peek into the Discord and see the other runners thing. So I'll tell them, and we'll do that on the next run. So sorry, we're
no worries.
off. Amazon taking multiple deaths, and Maljack seems to be out of the fortress just fine. A little strange that usually you would expect the Soul Sand Valley fortress with no shield to be a much more risky play, but Maljack looks fine.
Yeah, and I think it's worth noting that because you guys have so chat, if you're new here and you haven't seen the first 2 matches, they have a 20-minute time limit. So while Maljack is obviously way ahead, and as long as he completes his run, he'll be fine. But Amazon's not technically out because any mistake at this point from Maljack could cause possibly a tie toward the end, right? So and he's heading toward Bastion, and there's not as much danger in a Bastion as there is a Fortress, but a lot of stuff can happen. And as we saw, Ham took his first death in a Bastion, so down but not out, and so a lot of game left to play, even though it's not looking great for Ham. And it looks like T-Bike said, they're both going to a 3-eye, so they're only looking for 5 rods and what is that, 9 pearls to keep. But they're going to want an extra one for the Dragon Perch, though.
Yeah, I'm looking at... I was assuming this was not a double-triple stables route because those are fairly rare. I think there's only a couple.
No, this is a double bad gap single triple.
It's a double bad gap single triple. Okay.
Yes, but there are 4 bonus blocks in one of the stables chests down at the bottom. So if they don't get their trades, they can hop down and take the 4 bonus. Quite honestly, I think there's a total of, let me see what I have here, a total of 10 obby in all of the chests combined, right? So if they were to go through and check all of the chests, they would only end up with 10. I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll probably find the chests that add up to like 7 or 6 and then go for like 4 trades.
Yeah, so it looks like Maljack is in the Treasure Bastion, which I
interesting.
have to imagine was the intended one. Again, we want to give runners as many options as possible to make things interesting, but we don't have enough time to check every single bastion in all the nearby quadrants. So
Sure.
we decide as one as the kind of intended obvious route. And so in this case, I'm looking at this treasure, seeing plenty of gold, plenty of obsidian. So to me, that screams that this was intended. The
Sure.
stables route is either going to be a double, triple top, which is the fastest potential route, or a one good gap at least. So I mean, it looks like Amazon got enough stuff from it, which is
Right.
fine, and it's potentially the much faster route, which is kind of interesting because a single 4 gold blocks plus some chests. I mean, you could be out of there insanely fast. So kind of a good spot.
Yeah, and I have in my notes as well that I said that the stables is probably the obvious route. Um, but I also wrote that treasure had 11 obsidian in just the top chest alone.
Yeah.
So the difference being that obviously if you went stables and you wanted to find your obby and didn't get trades, you'd go through and have to go through all the chests in stables, whereas you just have to open one chest in the treasure. But the difference is we both I don't know if Maljack did it, but we both saw Amazon doing his trades, so he knew exactly how much obby he was going to need. He
Hmm.
knew how many pearl trades he was going to need. And so I think he did a calculated risk of like, okay, I know I'm going to get this and this much gold. Stables has this much gold. I don't need to go treasure on this one. So that's probably why his and it actually even given the death, he's pretty on pace with Maljack. Just needs to get his drops and that's dependent on spawns, not drops. So hopefully he'll get the spawns he needs.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what is Maljack waiting for right now? Because he got all of his obby right away. I see 16 pearls. Is he just waiting for string? Because
Yeah, it would seem to be. Yep,
I feel
he
like
is waiting
Maljack
on
should be
string.
far ahead. With Amazon taking 2 deaths, I think Amazon's just out. I can't believe
So
Amazon is on such a good pace.
this is weird to me
String, okay.
because if you I think it leads me to believe that Maljack actually didn't check his trades prior, like Amazon did, because had you checked them and you knew you were gonna be sitting around on, let's say, string, I believe that, like, running up to the village, which is, like I said, only, like, a 25-second run, and then there was a lava pool there, would have been the play and just in guaranteeing your beds, but, could just been a slight oversight. I'm not sure exactly why he doesn't have enough, but it looks like he's good to go now and heading towards blind, and, it looks like Ham has left Fortress, so he got good,
Yeah.
spawn rates and is heading to his quote unquote blind or I guess set travel for the portal room here.
Both have 2 beds, 2 anchors. Yeah, it might just be that Amazon, because he checked his trades off of the 4 gold blocks and stables, kind of knew ahead of time that he might just have the 2 bed, 2 anchor, and maybe he's just more comfortable with that. And so I think that saved him a ton of time. I mean, I just
Yeah.
can't believe taking 2 deaths puts you on such a comparable time. I think our timer is a little closer, so I think 11 and a half is pretty close to the real time. But I mean, finishing these runs in a 13 or 14 minute pace is
Oh.
respectable.
Ham is running out of food and he just got a fake lava, bucket, and that's actually really detrimental.
Oh
Um,
no.
but, uh But yeah, it goes back to kind of what we talked about prior when we were talking about, expectations of the match, and the truth of the matter is that Ham has, 4 of these tournaments under his belt already, 3 of which I believe he did really well.
Mhm.
I think 3 or at least 2 of them for sure, he made it to finals. So, this isn't new to him. He's experienced having to route seeds many times already, and I can't say the same for Maljack. So, even with the death, like you said, coming back and finding a spot here was really scary. But yeah, even having come back from a death is now already heading toward his set spot. So uh, we've seen in the past with these tournaments and these scouts that even when you have the coordinates and you build the portal with the nether the way it is, if you're slightly off, and a lot of people who run set seed know this, if you're even on 1 block away,
Mhm.
you get a different spawn. So we've seen a lot of times where they're on their set thing, but they're standing on the wrong side of the portal, or they're just not in the right spot, and they end up not where they want to be. But not the case for Ham, as he portals directly into the portal room.
Very nice. Very nice. And it was a 3i. It was a 3i. So
Yep.
yeah. So there was a lot of there's a lot of talk as we see our first enter end. That was about 13:02. I'm going to write these times down in case we do have to go to tiebreaker. But there was a lot of fun discussion yesterday and a lot of
Where
interesting
is
end
the end?
fight techniques. A lot of 116 RSG are always just going to go set up your perch, pearl away, and sit on the ground north south. But in tournament, that is almost assuredly not the correct play for the best average. And so we see, yep, there we go. Amazon shooting down crystals with the crossbow. I love the strategy. I think both of these players may have considered this, and I think that may be both of their end fight strategies is to do bow and arrow. So I love it.
Yeah, I had asked them as well the same thing, and yeah, obviously we're seeing what Ham said he was going to do, trying to get an extra pearl here so he can. I'm not sure. Oh no, he just accidentally looked and was just making sure he didn't get killed by that guy. But yeah, both of them said that they're probably going to tower up. Both of them are going to try to use crossbow to break it. Now, what's interesting to note is that out of the 100 odd runners that I've had to deal with as far as my tournaments goes, Hamazon's the only one who's consistently used the bow every single tournament, every single time. And like I said, he did well in the tournaments. So it's notable that, like you said, a lot of runners will just go for the high roll because they're used to doing world record thing. And he's out of food and out of health, and there's no way he can finish this fight now. So unfortunately for him, he's going to have to he has time to take a death reset here and get back, but it's going to be really, really, really bad for him considering that that Maljack is just gathering food and heading toward his set as well. Not sure. He'll probably clear out all of he should reset now, honestly. He should dig a hole, death reset right now, and start heading back. Because I think if he doesn't, he's basically just waiting for a tie at that point.
Yeah, I agree. And he had 3 cooked pork that he got from that one hoglin. He ate one right away and was at full food, full hunger. So getting 2 pork, teleporting into the end fight should be plenty. But I think just kind of standing around trying to go for riskier shots while the dragon's shooting you, a little too punishing. And yeah, I think you just got to do a quick death reset. Unless he's got some weird plan where he's not going to take any
portaling
damage.
In as well now. So he'll I mean, I don't know what Ham's plan is here, but yeah, it doesn't look great for him. Like I guess he's okay. So I think what he's doing is he's trying to actually kill the does he? Wait, you don't take damage from do you take damage from these? Oh, he does. So he's actually just trying to clear out this is actually smarter than what I've said. He's clearing out all the crystals, and he's just going to go for the normal kill. He's going to crossbow the dragon, and he's going to just go ahead and just try to get the kill. And actually, it's going to make a really fun race because now we see Maljack coming in, guys. I know I'm a little bit ahead, so I'm going to try to hold off on that. But we could actually see a really fun race where basically Maljack just waiting for a perch race, and we're watching Amazon just take him down like classic style, like your very first time you ever ran through Minecraft, and you come in and you're just like, I'm just going to bow him to death. And that's what we're seeing.
I wonder what that enchantment is on the crossbow. I don't think the crossbow enchantments increase damage, do they? There's like
I don't know, but he's got to be really careful because look at the health on it and throwing it away. So he's just gonna I don't know. I guess he's gonna wait for purchase now and just try to axe it.
But so yeah. here's how the dragon mechanics work. There's 2 things at play that
oh wait, he's got the perch.
Maybe some people don't know about. The second one is interesting.
He messed up the perch. He hit. Oh, sorry, chat. Dang it! It's so hard because I'm ahead.
I know. Yeah,
Maljack hit the anchor, but it didn't reset the dragon high enough. And then when he put the bed down, it broke the bed. So now we're just gonna basically see Amazon limping across the finish line as he's already broken all of the crystals. And unfortunately for Maljack, that means that he has to either break all the crystals as well, but his bow is pretty damaged, or reset. So it's like. And he's not even being able to hit the dragon at this point. The dragon's at a little awkward of an angle, but looks like we're having an axe race at this point. And and in that case, Amazon way ahead out in front, and actually probably going to get a sub 16 still if he gets all the damage on the next dragon perch.
So the 2 mechanics to pay attention to here is when the dragon perches, it will unperch when it receives a 50 damage threshold. So you can deal 6 axe hits, which just go over 50 damage, which is a quarter of the dragon's health. So we could see Amazon here. It looks like that's a quarter. I think he could actually do this.
And he gets it, and it's actually an axe race down to Amazon. He gets a sub 16.
Oh my god. Well, his timer was late, so it'll be a sub 18.
Oh, I'm sorry, sub 18. Yeah, I forgot I was looking at his. That's actually so fun to watch. That was so cool to see. But
all right, we'll do an official retime because I started a bit late and their timers were off, but we'll unmute the runners here.
Dude, I am
okay. Congratulations to Amazon. What an incredible end fight from both of you.
I can't. How did I win that? What went wrong, Maljack?
So,
Dude,
yeah. So
Yeah. So I spawned on my when I did my portal completely differently to where I scouted. Like I spawned at Y97, like in the middle of
Oh no.
nowhere. I was completely lost. I had no clue where I was. So I was doing
Yeah.
RSG, and
I
then
had
I
mentioned
messed up the one cycle with a 2-bed, 2 anchor. So
I had mentioned that
Yeah, my
with the coordinates, you have to be almost exact, like point whatever. Like you have to be almost in the if you're just slightly off the portal or on the wrong side of it, you'll spawn completely different, and that sucks.
yeah, no, I had no idea. That had never happened to me so far. It'd been like so like a drastic of a change. Like I went from like a
Ham,
Y40 to a
has that
Y97 somewhere differently. It never actually happened before in any of the scouting practices or anything like that. So
Ham, has
interesting.
that happened to you before?
missing the portal room plenty of times.
On the scouting ones, okay. Yeah, I was talking about how you've experienced this before, so I was assuming that you had learned not to do that from past
Yeah,
experience.
I was very specific with my placement.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Dude, what happened with you, Amazon?
So I
It
died
was a
2
total
times in the
once.
bastion to begin
Oh my
with.
gosh.
And I ran back both times. I looted a piece of
Yeah.
armor from a chest both times.
Gotcha.
I left a spare for me, just in case I died again. I did. And then I entered the end. I blew up some crystals and I get hit by a fireball down to half a heart. So I had to
Oh
3
my
cycle the dragon
gosh.
because I'd die.
Yeah. That's nuts. Yeah, I was thinking the whole time, like, how is this not like over? I'm just like completely lost, just so
Yeah,
scuffed. I
me
was
too.
just like, what's going on? Oh, unlucky. It's good fun though.
Yeah, we thought there would be a variety of end fight strategies in this tournament. I wasn't expecting a 3-cycle axe and crossbow combo at half a heart the entire
Neither
time,
was
but
I.
you know what? Yeah, it
That's
works.
mental.
We're gonna go on a quick intermission. We'll be back in a couple of minutes for seed number 2. Be right back, chat. All right, welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a good little tiny break. I think we're ready to get right into it. So I'll give you guys a countdown. We'll again just do the scouting and then the running. You get one non-village and one village seed, so this will be your village seed. And yeah, so you can open your world in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, chat. This is the seed I was describing in the first round. And again, what we'll probably see right off the bat once we get loaded in, I have a real time of what we're seeing now, chat, so I shouldn't be ahead of it. Ham loading in first. And what we should see is a locate command for buried treasure, I would think. But it looks like neither of them are, which is actually probably best case scenario for them because, again, there are 2 buried treasures here. And the one that they actually want to find will probably be the entry point in which I believe both of them will do. And that is a ruined portal that's across the lake. So if they go up and they're looking for an entry point above ground, the only thing they're really going to see is the ruined portal. There's no lava lakes that I could find above ground. And as we see that, Maljack finds the first one. So first chest, only I think 4 iron in it. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, once they make it over to the ruined portal, I don't think we'll see routing for the village other than for beds. So maybe we'll see them peek in for beds, but after that, there's a shipwreck, a buried treasure, and a ruined portal chest all in the same spot, which is where I believe they will enter.
And village seeds have a couple advantages. Really, nowadays you get so much from the ocean of buried treasures and ruined portals and things that villages, you're pretty much just looking for food and beds. And food is a very valuable resource to allow yourself to play a lot riskier, throw a lot more pearls, speed your run up in general. Taiga Village is not well known for having food. They do have free wood in chests and some food. But the buried treasure village combo is kind of interesting because if you go to the village or buried treasure first, you can actually get emeralds. And there's almost always a farmer in a village, and even 3 emeralds gets you, 6 bread per 1 emerald. So that's 18 bread. That's enough to play as risky as you want for the whole run. So I don't think it's in the right order in this one, but I'm a fan of using the buried treasure emeralds for bread. It's kind of a fun play.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also, as I said earlier, the entry point in this map is probably going to be the ruined portal, and we're seeing Maljack complete that. What we didn't see was him check the shipwreck or for anything around it. So to your merit now, he'll probably grab those emeralds, head to the village, get his food that way that you spoke about. But if one of them happens to find the other chest, I think they'll go in with close to 13, 14 fish. And for a Scout and Route seed, yes, you do need the food, like you said, to travel quickly, but because a lot of your damage is calculated, you only need to throw 4 pearls to get to the fortress. You're only taking that damage, right? You're not pulling around looking for the fortress.
Yeah.
The terrain pretty well, that you're not taking a lot of fall damage, stuff like that. I don't think you need nearly as much food, obviously, on this as you would in RSG. We did see food come into play last match, obviously for both players, more so for Amazon. So maybe they will go for a little bit more food on this one, but I do think that we'll see a lot of runners running out of food or getting close to running out of food, because I don't know that they'll prioritize that as much.
Mm-hmm. And looks to be a pretty clean nether. Bastion looks like a fairly obvious housing close by to a fortress. What did you scout out for this nether?
Yeah, so for the nether, I think that housing it's a given on this one. I have that there is stables. Is this the one with stables double?
It looks like
I was on the wrong
two
sheet
very
again.
close.
So yeah, I have housing and treasure. So
Okay.
housing, I put housing as the most obvious bastion because of all of the spawn points from the overworld either spawn you above or below it. There is a magma ravine that can spawn you just below it, and then you might see manhunt. But the problem is that the housing is actually a lava housing, so the bottom floor is complete lava. So if we're gonna see a manhunt, which looks like Amazon might be setting up for, they're gonna need to build a bridge to get the piglins across, also for themselves as well. So I would be surprised if we didn't see, and I don't know where Ham went in, but he's obviously lower. Whereas Maljack finished the portal, and I think the portal brings you just above it, so you can do top down. Top down also makes way more sense in this specific case, because top of a triple chest in housing has all of the obsidian you need. So it makes sense to grab the obby, go down, do top down, and get out.
Mm-hmm.
Treasure super far away. The only way we would ever see treasure, I think, on this one, which obviously both are scouting the housing, so I don't think it's gonna be the case, but would be if they boated out to the potential monument that was on the overworld and had the treasure spawn from that. But even then, that's so unlikely. It doesn't make sense to do monument and then go to a bastion anyway. So yeah, we're seeing housing for sure, and Amazon finding the ridiculous amount of obsidian at the top. So I think Maljack has a really big advantage here if his spawn is where I think it is. Let's see, he went in and out, but I didn't see it. But I believe going in at the portal puts you above it, which gives you top down, so you can grab the obby, go down, and do top down. So we'll see.
Yeah, it looks a bit far from that main island. Again, it's tough to kind of tell because we're not really sure where they spawn and how far it goes. But yeah, I think Amazon's just going for a really quick enter with maybe just one buried treasure. Maljack maybe just getting the more favorable nether enter with the further away ruined portal. And we heard in the intermission, Amazon was like, "Oh, you did treasure, gross." So Amazon is very anti-treasure, which I like treasure bastions, honestly. In the case in a tournament like this, where you're guaranteed your obsidian and pearls and things, I think treasure is a pretty clean route. But yeah, Amazon going for the stables single rampart over a treasure. So I wouldn't expect him to go to treasure at all.
Yeah, just a little bit of tidbit information regarding that. Amazon told me that he prefers stables than housing. I think that's pretty common amongst most runners. I think stables and housing are like the key ones. But he does prefer treasure over bridge. So we don't see bridge in this one, so he doesn't have to make that choice. But yeah, if it comes down to bridge or treasure, we might see him take a treasure. And then Maljack preferring housing over everything, which is a little bit different, obviously. Stable second, treasure third, and then bridge last. So both runners not wanting to see a bridge here. Whereas someone like me, who's a little bit of a slower runner, not as good, I actually prefer bridge, obviously for the guaranteed blocks, the openness of it, and the fact that you can get to the gold blocks without having to do too much routing and too much planning.
Yeah, bridge is I don't know, 15-30 seconds slower, even with a pretty good high roll compared to the other bastions, but very clear entry point, a lot easier to do armorless than the other ones. I mean, we saw Amazon, a really, really good player, very good in this tournament setting, take 2 deaths in a bastion doing armorless, so it does happen. And yeah, we're seeing runners exit nether here. It looks like the convenient nether exit might be a slight bit too high So they're actually spawning in the... Yeah, they're both spawning on top. So they may have to do some digging. And when I started this routing, I was like, yeah, I want to get in the exact right position every single time. I want to get right to the cores and portal right in the portal room. But then I started to consider, if you're in the nether and you're above basalt or something like that, and you spawn above on the ground like this, you're just making the choice between digging down stone or digging down like netherrack basalt. So you still have to dig down. So it's really not that big of a deal to spawn above the stronghold,
Yeah, and so I actually feel a little bit the opposite of that. I feel like everything in the nether obviously is 8 times faster. You take a step, you move 8 in the overworld. You dig down, I don't know if it's 8 up and down. It's obviously 8 side
no,
to side.
The Y level is 1-to-1.
Okay, so it's 1-to-1. Yeah. But the difference being is that the way that portals snap is they snap to the closest opening. So you may only have to dig down 2 or 3 blocks in the nether to get it to snap down into the portal room. So I think that for me, at least, when I'm thinking about scouting, and this may just be like a noob mindset, but I think for me, the portal directly into the stronghold portal room is, I think, the most important thing for me when it comes to scouting. And so being able to just like portal directly into the portal room has won runners races with it have otherwise been close.
Yeah, I think in most cases it's pretty simple. I mean, if you have like a gold pick and you're digging down through netherrack, it's pretty quick to get to the right coordinates. I'm curious if they're going to do it through this basalt though. I'm not sure if it's beneficial if you land on top of a basalt and you have to dig straight through it. What's faster? If you just portal to the overworld and dig through dirt and stone. We also saw it was kind of close to the shore. So you could potentially take a route where you just swim down and dig straight into the shore.
Yeah, and that looks like what Amazon chose to do. I think they're Maljack blocked off the water, dug straight down. And to your merit, I believe that especially with barter trades being consistent and they're being able to like look at them, they know if they're going to have extra gold at the end to have gold pickaxes. So digging down might also be faster, just in the sense that you can portal out, like you said, on top of the surface and just straight down with gold. So.
Yeah. Oh, another funny thing is that only like a few percent of speedrunners have this issue with gold pick and netherrack. Have you heard of this one, Iwan? The gold pick netherrack issue. So using a gold pick can one tick destroy netherrack.
Yes.
And so there's some weird like client side issue here. I gotta start the timer here soon.
Yep.
As we see the runners starting, there's a client side issue where basically you break the netherrack and it's visibly gone for you, but it's still in the game, and so you can't actually get through it. Amazon runs into this all the time, and sometimes he has to. The only way is to save and quit. So
okay, yeah, I had seen him talking about that in Discord. I didn't know that's what it was. That's interesting.
It really sucks because you break it and it's just not there, but it is there. You can't see it and you can't move through it.
What if that's like a latency glitch?
Yeah, I turn my render distance down so it's less laggy, but for Amazon, nothing seems to work. So, here we go. Starting with the village on Maljack's side.
All right, chat, we are into the second match. Obviously, Amazon taking the first match in a close race with axe battles at the end. Half a heart finishing the dragon off after destroying the crystals. So has a little bit of the lead, both running into the village right off the bat and making stone tools. So I actually disagree with this play again. Mostly because you know what you're going to get, and so you know that you're going to get enough iron to go into the nether. You don't really need to make stone tools, and you can just go in and make either an iron axe when you get in there while you're trading, or there's so many more options than making stone tools. But I think this might just be like an RSG mindset, like repetitiveness of doing villages over and over again. You just you have a routine. You don't really break free from that routine. Just because it's a different tournament kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I mean, Amazon, one of the advantages of Taiga Villages is you're pretty reliably going to get a crafting table and free wood in those chests. Amazon just punching wood normally. Maljack crafting a crafting table when there's a crafting table in a house right next to him. So a little bit of inefficiency in Taiga Villages here. And I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, they're killing Golem. They just...
Yeah, again, I disagree with this play, but I mean, they're way better runners than I am, but especially I disagree with Maljack's play, because Maljack's going to a shipwreck rune portal that has like a ton of iron. There's literally no need. It's a time waste to kill the golem, in my opinion. As we see, he's moving out toward that rune portal. He gets a dolphin, hops out of the boat, but But I think this also comes down to, and this isn't to say anything bad about the runners, but kind of poor planning in the overworld as far as not taking the extra time that they need to just like to really understand that there's more than just one way in an overworld. Because I feel like a lot of times they get like, okay, I'm doing this, that's it, I'm done. Let me go do the nether. And there's not a lot of exploration, and like literally Maljack is 10 steps away from a shipwreck. It doesn't have any food in it, but it has iron and gold and things, and he just didn't even like glance at it, right? So a big oversight in my opinion, especially with in-game commands where / locate would have brought him to that, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
but interesting enough.
Yeah, looks like he's just mining furnace by hand, gonna smelt some iron. I mean, also the weird play is he got he got bucket, flint, and steel, and he has some extra iron already. That's all you potentially need. It's pretty dang likely there's going to be iron in those chests. I can't say for sure that I checked, I checked these seeds a while ago, so I don't know for sure if there's iron in there, but it's a very likely chance. Maybe he did. Maybe I'm being silly and there's no iron at all in the bastion chest, but that's a pretty easy way to just get your bucket, flint, and steel going nether. I would respect that, getting a nether, at maybe 2 minutes, but yeah, smelting now it just seems very slow. And Amazon we also see boating pretty far out. And
so he's going to ravine, which I think spawns this is what I was talking about. Ravine spawns bottom of housing, which I think is also a slight misplay. And I think going in right now in the top of housing for Maljack will be a huge advantage for him. But yeah, like I said, and maybe he'll be kicking himself after this, because it comes down to, I didn't realize that I had told you that Maljack was in one of my tournaments. He actually was only supposed to be in one, but backed out of that one. So this is actually his first ever Scout and Route tournament, and I think it's a huge amateur mistake to literally be smelting iron 5 feet from a shipwreck that has iron in it. Like,
that's true.
That almost should never happen.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But first couple ones I did, I think the first couple scouting sections we all did in 10 minutes. It was pretty tough. It's actually a lot to get through in 10 minutes.
Totally agree. Yeah. And I think most runners that I know now that do these have literally a task list. They're like, I'll check this, I'll check this, I'll check this, I'll check this, right? And Amazon, we spoke about that too. He brings that experience. He's done this before. He knows what to look for. So I'm actually surprised to see him making these small, I don't want to say mistakes, but oversights. But like I said, he is doing he did get spawned in the bottom of housing, had to make the bridge, and he is doing manhunt strats. And Maljack spawned in top, so he's doing I believe top down at this point. He's already down in there, right? So kind of an advantage. He didn't have to build a bridge. He didn't have to do any of that stuff. He just went top down, and I didn't see his inventory, but I imagine he grabbed the obsidian from the top. It's kind of small for me, but yeah, just a small decision to nether enter at a different spot. But he's taking damage now from a brute and is just able to get away, no problem. That is a little bit scary for him, but the brute decided to go for the gold in the hole. Now he is trapped with his friends. So
wait, brute?
I don't know. I don't know what they're called. Okay. What are the assortments called?
I don't. In the game files, they're just melee pigmen and ranged, or melee piglins and ranged piglins. Yeah, brutes in 1.16.2 are disgustingly broken.
Oh, it's different. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They added them in 1.16.2. Brutes have axes that can break your shield. They are basically half of an iron golem. So they take a long time to kill, and they deal tons of damage. They're disgusting. But yeah.
Sorry, chat. Chat. My technical knowledge is very limited. That's why we have T-Wags here.
Yep, there you go.
Whenever I say something stupid, he just comes in and says, "Okay, that was stupid." So this is this is the truth.
I mean, we have a very welcoming and teaching community in Minecraft. We all love telling each other stuff. Chat loves to tell you how to play. That's their favorite thing to do in the world,
Interesting now, Maljack leaving Bastion first, and I want to stress the fact that I think I mentioned this during the scouting process that he was going to have a huge advantage going top down on this, and luckily for Amazon, not far behind, going up, grabbing the obby on the way out. So Maljack did top down, left, and then and Ham had to build a bridge, did manhunt, and went up for the obbies. So leaving at a similar pace, but Maljack ahead. But I think that it will be fairly easy for Ham to close a gap if he gets obviously favorable spawns, and really good pearl from him landing on the edge to just basically take the lead right there, as Maljack has to build up the side of it. So
Yeah, and a couple little things that are like really hard to notice is that Amazon was a little bit slower getting into Nether, but the reason was because he got extra food, so he has very reliable cooked fish on him, whereas Maljack had to awkwardly put a crafting table down in the middle of lava, make suspicious stew, and then when he broke his crafting table, it fell in the lava and burned. So like those
Ouch.
little nuances are actually going to add up. But Maljack doing a blaze bed on an open spawner.
Yeah, interesting that you said that too, because I was thinking about how neither of them blaze bedded on the closed spawner.
Amazon
But I
did
think
too.
last okay, yeah, last seed they were a lot more limited on beds and anchors. Obviously, we saw that with the axe race. So this one with the village, they probably went through, grabbed a couple extra beds, either just for this or possibly to set a safe bed in the portal room just in case something goes wrong.
Yeah, both looking like they're doing a frontside blaze bed on an open spawner, which I like. I really love the fishing rod and offhand play. I think it's difficult because you have to use some string away from like a bed or maybe a bow and arrow. It takes away the string count from that. But honestly, fishing rod and offhand is very valuable in these where you have an open spawner. You hit a blaze one thing away and then you fishing rod it back and then you hit it again and you always get those rods. And there's one blaze rod on Amazon's right. One blaze that he just can't get. Oh, is he out at 4?
So it looks like he's trying to pearl hang. I'm not sure exactly why.
Oh,
so it
okay.
looks like he's gonna pearl hang, go for 5 RD 5 RD and get one on the way out, and then crank his distance back up. So interesting. Not the way we typically see pearl hangs being used, but I think pretty clever. Set himself up just to leave as soon as he gets what he needs.
Yeah,
But
going into
have
the
to make
spawner.
sure. I think it's important that we mention the fact that last match yesterday in Anton's match, we had one runner forget about his fire res time and end up dying in lava because he couldn't get out fast enough with his 20-second timer. So probably not, obviously not an issue for Ham, but you just got to make sure that his fire res stays up if he's going to do the pearl hang, because even if you're throwing toward, let's say, this island he's on now, you could land in one block lava or the lava fall, or even like a little hole that leads down like right in front of him like that one. So pretty risky to do that if you don't have the fire res active. So
Yeah, and Maljack exiting first. A little surprised to see that. It looks like his blaze fight went a little bit faster. And portaling on top, digging straight down. Yeah, it's
not
gonna be
making
very
gold
close.
pickaxe. I think that's an oversight that we already touched on. Interesting to see him doing iron. I feel like he'd already be in the portal room right now if he had gold, had made gold pickaxes while he was blaze fighting, but or closer to it, obviously. But
Okay, good.
but not slow with an iron pick either, so not a big deal. And obviously ahead of Amazon, he doesn't know that. And with the way perches are in your guys' tournament, this could come down very well to who executes perch strats better, or who gets luckier. To be honest, with if they get a really lucky perch, so we'll see.
A little bit, yeah.
It's gonna be a perch race.
Yeah, there's always
But I think
a lot you could do. So I'm curious to see their different approaches here. I don't know if there was crossbow, bow, and arrows in the bastion chests. Looks like there was.
it looks like Amazon has a crossbow. I was gonna say they have similar strategies to the end fights. So I don't see them differing from that just from one seed. So should see, if available, they'll both do the same thing they did last time, whereas like go in, set up crossbow when they can, when the dragon's on their side. But I don't see a crossbow in Maljack's. So, and he has to get extra pearl here.
Yeah, looks like he used exactly all of
Wow.
his pearls.
That's another oversight in my opinion. I mean, it's not that bad. You can kill him while the dragon's floating around, not a big deal. But again, the fact that you have like barter trades that are guaranteed that I feel like you just don't go in without it, because you can miss the perch really easily fighting. You could miss the perch, and as I say that,
Is he?
oh, he didn't get the perch. It was baited a little. He was baited a little bit.
And Amazon
But
does get it.
Amazon
Yeah.
just, and as I predicted, not in the way that I thought, if Amazon clutches this out, which he's getting very solid damage on the beds, hits them all, just has to not look at an Enderman or die, and he will clutch this out. We are seeing the 2-0 that I predicted, not in the fashion that I predicted by any means, but still unfortunate for Maljack to go out off 2 seeds.
Yeah, GG. I will, let's see, unmute, undeafen the runners here. Do that. All right, welcome back, gentlemen. Congratulations to Amazon.
Thank you.
Maljack is currently one
Damn.
cycling. Did he get it?
Oh,
Yeah,
close.
he'll get it.
Got it.
That's close. That was close.
Amazon entered, and I believe 10-ish seconds later, but didn't have to like craft beds or do anything, and he already had a
Yeah,
pearl, so
yeah.
he went immediately to the side of the island, got a dragon perch where Maljack had to craft some beds and kill an enderman. So really close.
Yeah, no, good stuff. Second seed was close. Yeah.
Yeah, how'd you guys feel about that second seed? I guess in general, talk about that one first.
Probably a much cleaner, much linear. I think I'd imagine that both Amazon and I did the same strategy. Maybe the entry into the village might have been
Maybe.
different.
Yeah, I
Probably,
wasn't
yeah.
too sure about
I believe you would say.
whether to even play the village, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had touched base on before you guys did your run on the two different entry points. I actually scouted the seeds prior to you guys doing it. I knew that the ravine, which is what Amazon took, would spawn at the bottom of housing, and it's a lava housing, so we had to build a bridge for manhunt. And I also knew that the rune portal, which you finished, would lead to the top of top-down housing, which had the obby at the top, so you could grab it on the way down, which is what you did. So it was interesting to see you guys choose the two different things.
Oh, so it actually was different. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, I didn't know there was a rune portal. I didn't check for that.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
You know what you didn't do though, and this is probably you're probably gonna kick yourself for this, Maljack, is you smelted iron about 5 steps away from a shipwreck that had iron in it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
It was right next to the rune portal. Also, there was a buried treasure under the rune portal.
I think I saw it, but I at the corner of my mind was like, oh, that's a bad shipwreck. It doesn't have the iron chest in it. I think from I saw it from the corner of my eye. I was like, oh, nah, it's just the one for food. Doesn't have the iron in it. Oh, that sucks actually. Yeah, that would have saved a bit of time. Hey, could have been the difference actually. There you go.
Could have been, yeah, but yeah. I think that there was mistakes
Amazon
on both sides, so I think stressing on
GG, thank you.
Yeah. No, GG's Amazon is well played.
GG's, exciting close matches
Close
both
match.
time. You guys, you guys will be back. Who else is in your group actually that you're playing?
I think it's Blazer and who did Blazer play yesterday? Was it Funderful?
Funderful. Oh, that's your group.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think those are the other two in the group.
Gotcha.
Yeah, believe so.
Yeah, so you guys will be back. You'll have matches for those guys in the group stage. Wish you well there. And chat, I am going to put it to the schedule screen right here, and then we're going to do a raid, but we have another 2 matches in 3 hours. So we'll raid someone in a bit, but come back in 3 hours. We'll have D-Max versus Ninja Brain, and then Cube versus Nice Choice. So those will be really high matches. So I'll see you then, chat. Bye.
Very cool. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Bye, chat.
Thank you.